Hello, my art friends. So I am going to show you what I've been doing in my Karen Stamper class with my Concertina Sketchbook. I mean, good grief, how cool is this? So, oh goodness, look at that. Yeah, this is my work surface, so let me get another sheet of paper here so that it can be white so you can actually see the pages, so it's not so distracting. There we go. All right, I didn't even know there was such a thing as a Concertina Sketchbook until Karen Stamper. So the glorious thing about this is that the pages open up. So when you're working in your book, the idea is to connect these pages using masking tape and painter's tape and ink, a little bit of collage, so that when you are opening your book, I move some of this other stuff out of the way. You know, when you're working, how your table gets smaller and smaller? Yeah, that's what's happening with me. A little bit of patterns. I have some old patterns that I use. So again, you know, when you're working on a 2-page spread, you have this, and then the goal is to incorporate that. And you can see I had tape here, so I need to do something here to connect those. And I've been using various pencils and pens and oil pastels, and I become very, very fond of these Lyra water-soluble. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah. Anyway, I've become very fond of these. And again, because they are water-soluble, it makes some nice marks. And so I have these lines here. So in order to connect these pages, ooh, this one's too dark. Let's see. What's this one? 5B. I think that's more in line with what we had here. Yeah. So all I'm doing is connecting this page to this one with my marks. Much happier with how that looks. So it's been, again, so much fun. And when you're working like this, it's just, it's a whole new thing for me. Like I said, I'm trying to discover where my work is going next. Oh, I have found so many of these wonderful patterns from junk mail, of all things. You know, all of that stupid junk mail you get, all of these envelopes that come in, I have found they come in all different shades of gray. I'm trying to find my sketchbook that shows that. Is it this one? Yeah, this is another one of my small books. And this idea was from Louise, is to put in here the things that you like. Louise Fletcher, by the way. And so when I find bits and pieces of things that I like, I put them in here. Here it is. This is from different junk mail envelopes. Look at those values. How cool is that? So we'll go through this one in another video. At any rate, that's what this is. And again, opening it up. And here's where I feel like I sort of went off the rails a little bit. I started adding color, which I don't know. I'm not really sure that I like this or not. I'm going to turn on my overhead light to see if that makes it any better, or does that make it worse? I guess that made it a little better, a little brighter for you. And so this one has text from an old book, some pattern, sewing patterns. This was a beautiful color ink from Rotring Artist Color. It's called Bordeaux Red, which is very akin to me to my favorite quinacridone magenta, which I love. So it started off with just marks and like this, and then I started adding some collage. Oh, something stuck here. What is this? Well, made it more interesting. I don't know. Must have gotten, yeah, mostly using matte medium to glue things down, and sometimes that gets a little sticky. This was a really ugly page that I covered with this pink area here was a jelly print that I did, and so I continued that color across here so that these pages would be related. And then there's this, which is, you know, again, when you look at these two, they're not really related yet, so I have to figure out how I'm going to do that. And I'm not really fond of this, so there's lots of things that I could do here. Get some more collage and just cover it up. Connecting here. This is a piece of paper towel that I use to blot something, so I save all this stuff. It's crazy. Here's some more of those pieces that from the other painting that I did that I could use. Maybe one of these to, it's not light enough. What's this one? I don't know, the possibility. But anyway, it's all about the play, which is just so much fun. So then when you look at these three pages together, it's very bold, which is not like me. I have rarely used black in my work, but this has just been so intriguing to me, the wonderful contrast of the black against the white. Karen uses a lot of masking tape on things. This is one of those mountain folds. Sometimes these can get a little weak, like in here. This got really, really wet, so I have to be careful when I'm painting on those. And then I came across these pieces of collage, and I have ludicrous amounts of bins of collage. So it's kind of, where did that go? A little green. Did I lose it? Oh, here it is. This was the green that I used in my other book, and I like it because it's a Caran d'Ache water-soluble crayon. So you can put it on and then wet it. So it becomes part of, instead of being on the surface, now it's become part of the surface. So these were collage pieces. White Posca pen, more dots. So I went from these great big bold marks to much more open white space. This was a piece of deli paper that I had in my stash. This is from the, you know when you tear something out of your sketchbook and you have that perforated edge. So again, more of this lovely green on these, because to me this color doesn't distract, it sort of adds to the black and white. It's like almost another value. I love when this happens, when it was wet and I dropped ink that I didn't even know I dropped, and this happens. It's like these, you know who Bob Ross is? Remember his Happy Accidents? Yeah, that's kind of what this is about. This was just dragging my brush. So this one, oh, and then there's a spray bottle with ink. just a little spray bottle that I use to create these kinds of things. That was, the paper was wet, so it spread out, as opposed to here where the paper was dry, so it maintained its lovely dark color. And it's interesting when you look at just this. Ooh, see, this is cheering. We'll have to do something about that. Lots more white space here. I really kind of like this. It's rather fun. And so on these, I'm trying to keep more white space. And this is that delicious woody water soluble. So I can come in here and create some value change by getting this wet. Without using my ink. So I needed something a little darker down here to balance those heavy marks on the top. And again, if I don't like this, I can just paint over it or collage over it, and it will give me something new to work with. This part here reminds me of, I have a cat, her name is Frankie. It reminds me of her scurrying away when I'm chasing her around the house. She loves to be chased, by the way. And then here are some, oh boy, can you even see that? Let me turn the light off this time. There, I think you can see that a little better. It's dull and gray here in Michigan today, so I don't have much natural light. My window is right up at the top of your screen. So this is kind of where my things start. You see it's connected here, connected across the pages. And this is where I added some more of my torn up pieces that I showed you earlier from a bigger sheet that I tore out of my previous sketchbook. So more is going to happen on these. I'm just not sure what. And then that's the end of this one. And I have to tell you that working in this has been so much fun. And the glorious part about this is, if I turn this book over, I can start from this side, and I have all these other pages I can work on that are the backs of the ones that I did before. Because these are, you can see they're 2 sheets. So these are the ones I've worked on already, and then this is a whole brand new sketchbook on this side. Very fun. If you haven't seen any of their videos, Louise Fletcher, Karen Stamper, I definitely would suggest that you go and check them out because they were very inspiring to me. Next video, I will show you my smaller, 2 of my smaller sketchbooks. I'll show you my other concertina book, and I will also show you this one that I got an idea from Louise of how to keep those precious little things that you come across that get lost in your bin. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one, I hope. Enjoy your day.